So traders, I've been doing some analysis this afternoon on all the indices today, and you may or may not know that I did a video I did a video a month ago. As you can see here, this is the video here, and let me see if I can just blow this up for you. This is the video here, and I basically came out and did a video. As you can see, I did a video, and the S&P was still down the bottom here, around that, was that 5,300 somewhere there, 5,000 to 5,000. You can see that's where, yeah, around about that 5,000. That's where the S&P was at that time. And I come out and I did a video saying the S&P 500 target coming, and you can see I've actually got the target up there saying S&P 500 massive rally coming. So far, firstly, we've got the bounce, so that's actually happening right now. But I believe we're going to go through a bit of a pause for the next few months. Out of the actual markets, maybe just slightly up, slightly down. But now looking at the markets, I've been looking at, these are the long-term charts here of all the markets here, and I'm looking at a logarithmic chart here. This is also just a normal chart, but just looking at the logarithmic chart, I've just been doing some analysis and everything there. The first thing I do say is, looking at these markets here, is I can see that there's generally a nice good rhythm that's been happening with all these markets here. Right, and so what I mean by that is this, is that if we use an extension tool, this is the S&P, if we use the extension tool from the bottom here to the major high, and then we use the extension tool up there, look at that through there. See that through there? So all I did is I just got the extension tool and I measured it from there to major low to major high, and then we went through this correction through the 12 months, and look where we are. We actually went smack right there. Now we've actually paused. So now what I did is I just went from the last major low point there to the last major high point back up to there, right? And then we bring this back up to here as well. And as you can see, we actually get roughly around that 7,500 level. Now, if we do the same thing for just a normal chart, this is what I mean by normal chart is, if you see the scaling, this is a arithmetic chart. It's the same type of thing that sort of comes out. And what I mean by that is this, is that if I bring up the extensions, firstly, low to high, we have a 50% Fibonacci retracement, and then the market finds the bottom and the market picks back up through here, right? This big picture, okay? For you guys that are going to jump out of your skin because tomorrow is doing something that you just don't agree with me, then that's okay as well too, right? So same thing there, right? Look at this here, low to high, and look at that there. You can't get any more than that, right? That's that perfect wave up, wave down, and a perfect one-to-one, what's called a one-to-one extension from there. So, and then if we just bring this back down to here, and then we just use the exact same thing, right? Which is this, actually, let me go back to the monthly charts here for a minute. We go from this major low point to this major high point, and then we go back down to this major low point back here. Where are you? Oh, there you are there, right? Major low, major high, and you can see we actually get back to the 7,500. So both the actual charts here, both charts are giving us roughly that there, right? Which is doesn't matter whether it's the arithmetic chart or whether we go down to this one here, which is as you can see, it's the logarithmic chart. We still get roughly around the 7,500. Now, 7,500 by the end of the year. So I believe we're going to get it ready I believe the end of the year is going to have a very, very, very big, strong rally to come. I believe, but for initially, we need to have a bit of a pullback here. So probably for the next few weeks, we probably won't be doing much. We might slightly crawl up to new highs. And if I bring up, say, just the daily chart, this is the daily chart here of the S&P. I believe we're going to get ready for some sort of a correction out of the markets here. And we can see here, we may go up a little bit more, but we're probably going to see something like this over a course of maybe a month or two. And then we're going to see probably a move through there, and then we're going to probably see a really, really, really big, strong rally coming out of that. And if I go back to my long-term charts, you can see I've got a few things here. Firstly, I've got my actual channels here in place. And then I have a very big, as you can see, then I've got my very big long-term channel in place as well too. So this 7,500 roughly around there looks like it's actually like X marks the spot. We're definitely not in the bear market right now, guys. Every single time this market has come down through to here, and this is one of the reasons why I was happy to come out and do that video. When the market was down here around that 5,300, if in fact I bring up the actual daily chart, as you can see, the S&P was down there. The S&P was right here. around the 5,300. That's where the S&P was when I did that video, and so far we've actually got a big rally out of it. And so we can see that through there. We can also see that if we go back to these charts here, so we can see that through there, and obviously the extension goes up to there. Now, once again, what I do see is if I start to bring down to some other charts like the daily charts here, I do see we're probably gonna have a bit of a pullback first. It's probably not gonna just keep going straight up. Now it can, with what's happening here, but as you can see that this is a very strong market, and that's the reason why I was so confident a month ago when we were down here to say we're getting ready for a buying opportunity. And it's just looking at and what made me do that and be confident with that and be very bullish this market here is because we're still in a very big bull market here, right? We're still in a very big low, higher low, higher low, and even the last sort of couple of years, right? There's a low through there, and this is an overall big trend, up and then down, and then up and then down. See how it's just a very big trend. So the next point of call is probably up through there as well too. So get ready for, I believe this, the stock market is going to have a very strong rally towards the end of the year. And it's going to be some really amazing opportunities across that, through that there. If I look at the actual Nasdaq charts, and the Nasdaq charts, I do the exact same thing with the extensions. And it looks like the NDX and the actual, by the way, and a channel. So this is a channel here on the monthly charts and the major swings, major highs. And this is just a classic bull market, right? Look at this here. It's like major resistance becomes support and bounces off. Like if any of you guys think the market's going to crash, there's nothing here to say the market's going to crash. Hence the reason why, once again, I was happy to come out and do that video when the market came down to here. And boy, oh boy, did I get a lot of flack for it. But so far, it's on its way to there, and looks like we're actually going to do this. Now, once again, it won't go straight up. I do believe we're going to get a bit of a few weeks, maybe a month or more, and then we're going to see another very strong rally towards the end of the year. So, and that's the reason why, once again, on that video that I had, do I have that video there? Oh no, it's gone to me. The 7,500 target is what I saw back down at 6,300, and so far, it is working out quite nicely for the good old stocky market. Very nice, good big bull market. So some of you guys, if you're wondering what's going on with the markets, bring back the weekly charts, bring back the monthly charts, and bring back the real big picture to see what's really going on. Because as you can see here, this is a very strong big bull market. And just because we get a year's worth of a drop and the headlines and the talking heads do their thing, doesn't mean it's true, right? And so, and the last thing I wanted to share with you guys around this level from here is, so that's the S&P, this is also the Nasdaq. So the composite actually has a target of around that 25, 26 target through there. The composite, the S&P, obviously my 7,500, that's the one that I did that video on. The NDIX, my target is for the end of the year. So around that 29, possibly even 30,000, we might overshoot it, but we've got that, definitely have that one-to-one extension, then also the end of this beautiful channel through here. So we're probably going to make it through there. And then also the Dow Jones. This is the Dow Jones chart from here to here. And this is actually, this big massive chart here tells me that we still have 4 years to go. Now, 4 years to go simply means we're going to see these swings, right? We're going to see what we've seen in the last 10 years. And what is that? That is Trump's going to come in. It's going to destroy the economy. The COVID crash, the recession fears. You see, we're going to have. That's what 4 years mean. We might go. We're going to go through these periods where we have a few months of, or a couple of months, or maybe 6 months of pullback, and then a big ripping raw rally. But we still have 4 more years to go, because you can see there's massive. This template here has been very, very, very repeatable, and we're just 12 years in. And there's no sign of this bull market coming to an end. In fact, the last couple of times this big, massive bull market. Now, the short-term daily charts, when we get these 20 or 25% drops in the markets, that's short-term, right? Look at the big picture here. It's saying there's a reason why this market keeps being pulled up, because we're not done yet with this cycle. We're just not done yet. It's when the moving average comes up and starts to flatten out through there, as you can see, right through there. Look at this here. When the moving average flattens out, that's when we start to go through a bit of a, let me take everything off the screen here. Like, look at this here. When we go through a big bull market from here to here, and then we start to flatten out, that's when we know we're over. Up, 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 up. That's when we know we're over. Look at this here. It's still going up. There's and high lows all up. There's nothing here to say that this big bull market. Even now, this is a big picture here, right? If you're just focused on the day by day activity, then you're missing the forest from the trees. The reason why is because this could actually help you set yourself up to look for some really good opportunities. Because guess what? Over the next 4 years, as this continues to unravel, you're going to get, guess what's going to happen next year? You're going to have a 10, 15, maybe 20% freak out, recession fears, tops in, blah, blah, blah. Buy it. You know, the same thing, right? Again, and this is the reason why when the Dow Jones was down here, right, down through here, like the S&P, that's when I did the video saying, guys, here we go. And then I did my targets and so on and so forth for the year. And so my year-end targets for the actual year, and we can actually see all of that through there. So that's what I'm seeing through there. If we look at if we do the same thing for, look at this here, right? If we do the same thing for, I wonder if that did that, right? Did that get it? Look at that. Almost, didn't it? Almost got to that there. So we do another 1-to-1 extension from here to here. That's that low to high there. That point there to that point there. And we have that point there, that point there. Looks like that we are on our way to around 55, possibly even 60,000 on the Dow. So 60,000 Dow. Here we come. And yeah, and that might sound crazy, right, guys? But this is, now that takes time too. I know some of you guys are like, and this is one of the biggest mistakes, and I'm just trying to help you young folks out who've been by the markets for probably maybe less than, say, 10 years. One of the biggest mistakes that I've always made is always been focusing on short term and not looking at the big picture, because if we can see the big picture, we can look for these opportunities to hold for a good 3 to 6 months and make a big profit out of that 3-6 month move instead of looking for that day by day activity. Makes sense? You make so much more money looking for these really big bull moves and jumping in and holding it for 6 months than day trading for 6 months. I promise you this. I promise you, look for really good swinging opportunities in the markets, with the markets, right? Just like we had a month ago in the stock market, right? And do that. Trade like that. I promise you. You compare apples to apples. Day trading, getting in and getting out on a 2-minute chart, or look for good opportunities in the markets and hold them for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, and that big massive trend, if you can see these big massive trends, you're going to make so much more money, right? Or your likelihood is to do so much, you like to do so much more better, right? You're gonna do so much better trading that way, and guess what? And it's less stress. You're in, and then you hold it, and you just check it every day. You're just not getting in and getting out and getting in and getting out. Position, let it go. Right now, yes, you've got to have risk management and all that sort of stuff in place as well too, right? But I'm talking about having multiples of these things going on, right? And then holding it and then letting it go. Letting it go, letting it go, letting go. Not trying to get in and get out in the same day, because I promise you this, right? My success from my personal trading, and if you'd like to learn my actual trading system that I use to trade the markets, then I'm running a webinar. There's that link in the description. I can teach you there. But the reason I'm doing this video here for you, because I'm trying to show you that probably next year, guess what? We're going to have another freak out. That generally happens once a year. We get one of these freak outs, and guess what? It's the COVID crash. That's it. The top's in. Oh no, it's the recession talk. Oh no, it's the tariff. See, it's all the same thing. So next time it happens in the next 12 months, we get one of these. Guess what? You know what's coming, right? So they're probably good buying opportunities. And by you not trying to day trade, I promise you, and I'll say this to the cows come home, right? Did the cows ever come home? Well, I guess I'm going to say it for the rest of my life then. You can do so far better in the markets by looking at opportunities like this here, right? And then waiting for that opportunity and getting in and holding. Right? Even if you're out of the market for a while and you look for these opportunities and holding for a good 3 to 6 months, then you ever would day trading, getting in, getting out on day trading basis. Because day trading is the hardest form of trading on the planet. And the best way to actually trade the markets is look to get into big swinging movements that last a few months, 2, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, just like what happened a month ago in the stock market, right? That's the reason why I did the video. I even did videos saying the biggest opportunities. And so I'm trying to switch you guys to stop, is not looking at, oh, but John, you don't understand. Look what happened today. There was a doji day today. You see how you're missing the forest from the trees. What was the opportunity was what? Buying it down here when I actually did a video saying we're getting ready for, and if I actually use the S&P as an example here, right? Once again, down here at 5,300 was when I did the video, and then you write up. You would have done so much better if you just said you saw this as the opportunity and rode this thing up through here, right? For the last 2 months than you ever would trying to get in and get out on a 2-minute chart or day trading, getting in and getting out every single day, right? You just buy it, you ride up, make a big move, make a big profit, and you get out. And that's how it all works, right? If I look at my last trade that I got out of, like this is PPLT, my platinum trade. And I'm speaking to you from experience, right? I got in on here, and this is the platinum trade. I talked about platinum on my YouTube channel when this actually happened, and then I let people know and so on and so forth. And then we had a big move up, and I got out recently for a really big profit out of my platinum trade. It actually hit my target, which was up here. But the purpose of me saying this here is that if you're looking at get in one day, get out one day, you're missing this entire move. But if you just say, you know what, no, I didn't know this was going to last this long. I actually thought this may take maybe a month or more to get to the target, not a matter of how many days is that? No, what's that? 21 days? 10 days? 8 bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, about what's that? About 3 weeks. 3 weeks it took there. Do you know just that one trade of you getting in there and then getting out here, which I did, that's exactly the trade I did. I'm trying to share with you how these opportunities, by looking for these and getting in, holding it for a couple of weeks and looking for a big move, you can do so much better by that, and it's so less stressful. And guess what? Now you're in the environment of having big profits. So when the losses do come, you can have smaller losses, and now you can actually have less stress and look for that sort of stuff. This has been one of the biggest game changer for me for looking at trading this way here, is by looking at not getting in and getting out in one day. Right, and so the reason why I'm doing this here is because I'm trying to share with you some of the real big picture, the real big analysis that's been happening on the stock market here, and on there's so many stocks out there, right, that are setting up for really good buying opportunities, and I want to try to get you thinking more of how do I be in a position for a good 2-3 months, right, or at least a good few months or more, and capitalize on a big bull move and a big move over that period of time, and have a big profit instead of looking for all these small little profits throughout the day. Right, guys? So once again, if you'd like to actually learn my trading strategy, guys, I've got a webinar with a link in the description. But the whole purpose of this video is to show you that so many people keep getting this wrong and they keep looking for the wrong opportunities. They keep looking for all the wrong opportunities. And for me, again, I'm giving you guys just an update on the year-end targets to say that everything's still online to actually hitting my 6,500 target. 6.5. It's going to be 6,500 next week. 7,500 on there. But also, I wanted to bring this back to you and try to show you how that, the trading of the environment, the day trading is the worst environment out there, and that's the reason why most traders who do it, and I promise you know yourself, it's the hardest form of trading. It's so stressful. You have no freedom and you make no money, and then now you end up fighting with your wife about it. You know yourself, it's just not the way to go. Now what I do, and that's the reason why I like to trade what's called the daily charts, which means I'm getting in today, I'm getting in today, just like my platinum trade, right? If I go back to platinum here, just like my platinum, I'm getting in today, and my goal is to hold it for a couple of weeks, a month, sometimes a couple of months, sometimes longer, right? And getting and holding for that and looking for this massive profit. So this big profit here, I would have to have something like 7 to 8 losing trades in a row to make something of this. The profit that I made here, this is my profit here. My average loss on a bare minimum, I would need something like 5 or 6 losing trades in a row to wipe out this one profit. But I'm not going to do that, right? I might have a couple of losing trades in a row, which might wipe out 30% of the profit, but then boom, I'm back with another big profit. You see what I'm saying here? We want to set the game up for you guys to win. So anyway, traders, here's a bit of an update on the year-end targets for all the markets from here. I think there's some incredible buying opportunities from here. And also wanted to just to sort of encourage you guys that the best thing this is what's helped for me anyway, is no longer, I used to trade the daily charts or the 2-minute charts and 1-minute charts and all that sort of stuff, and they're okay. But I've just found myself to just do so much better to just getting on the daily chart, hold it for a month, look at it a few hours per day, and then the rest of the day have the freedom to go do what you want. And on top of that, when you have the freedom to do what you want, on top of because you're just looking at the market a couple of hours a day, then suddenly what ends up happening, now you have freedom to go do the other things like gym and health and friendships and connections. But then also, but the default is you actually end up making more money because you're not getting in and getting out, making emotional decisions. You get in, make a massive profit, and just like a platinum trade, that one platinum trade over the course of 3 weeks would have made you so much more money than you trying to get in and get out on one day or every single day.